Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Mano 777, and we're back inside of Destiny here with your weekly vendor reset video. We're going to be going over the top vendor roles that you can pick up this week in the Tower, in the Reef, and we're going to be going and letting you know which things you should definitely pick up this week. Of course, no week would start off right without looking at the Crucible Quartermaster and the stuff that he has here. Of course, we always need to take a look at the Palindrome. Not a very, very strong role this week. I'd make sure that you stay away from that. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other stuff that he's got. Nothing really here that stands out. Maybe the sniper rifle. Again, it does have quick draw, it does have hidden hand, it does have short gaze. I would say, again, for a second week in a row, the Event Horizon is one that you should pick up. Alright, we're here at the Vanguard Quartermaster. Let's see what he has in store. In fact, this is the week to pick up stuff from the Vanguard Quartermaster. There are a couple of really good roles this week. First of all, on the Parthian shot, which many people like using. I'm not a huge fan of, but a lot of people enjoy using this gun in the current meta. But this thing is a beast this week. We've got Outlaw, a braced frame to give you enhanced and increased stability at the expense of your magazine size. But if you think about it, magazine size and Outlaw, if you can get lots of precision kills with this weapon, you'll be good to go. And then on top of that, counterbalance. Really strong role this week if you want to pick up that Parthian shot. Definitely would recommend that this week. In addition, there is an Angel's Advocate that I would highly recommend that you get. It's got life support, where kills with this weapon while critically wounded have a chance to start regenerating health. You've got armor piercing rounds, a perfect balance based upon what you want, and then Firefly. These two perks together makes this scout a very strong role in PvE. I think the only thing that would make this better is if it had explosive rounds. Definitely those are going to be the top roles this week. The TEACUP Tempest is not a bad role this week either. It's got Rangefinder as well as Feeding Frenzy, Lightweight, and Snapshot. I would say that this is a good sidearm to use this week if you do enjoy using the TEACUP Tempest, if that's one of the guns that you like using a ton. But other than that, really nothing else over at the Vanguard Quartermaster. Over here at Dead Orbit, there's one or two things, and Dead Orbit is the place you're going to want to go this week for Tier 12 armor. There are some things that you can pick up, and there aren't a lot this week in terms of Tier 12. First of all, if you look over here, we've got some ghosts that are actually pretty strong. We've got an Intellect Discipline Ghost of 35 and 34 if you want to think about that way, but actually this is a really strong role. If you don't have a perfect ghost, this is one that you're going to want to pick up. In terms of weapons this week, nothing too crazy. The Extremophile is actually pretty solid. It's got Rangefinder, quick draw, extended magazine, which is actually a lot nicer than you think, especially with auto rifles, that you don't have to reload nearly as much, which does make it pretty strong. And then we've got Hammer Forge to boost that range and accuracy again. Something I would definitely look at getting this week from Dead Orbit. In terms of everything else, I suppose if you enjoy using fusion rifles, the Worlds to Come this week is also strong. The Keystone is not nearly as strong as it has been the last couple of weeks, so I'm skipping that this week in terms of your roles. Your Unto Dust is going to have Cluster Bombs. It's also going to have Javelin and Field Scout, so this is a very strong role this week, possibly for PvE. Again, the velocity is very low on that one, so not necessarily one I would pick up. But the armor pieces this week are very strong at Dead Orbit. There are, like I said before, some decent rolls that you can get there if you are on your Titan, if you are over on your different characters and stuff like that. Let's see, we've got some 98% rolls for Titan armors and helms. For the Hunter, we've got some 96% boots, and for the Warlock, we've got some 96% class items. In addition, if you go over to the Reef, there are two items that are 100% rolls this week from the House of Judgment. That is going to be your Kel's Mark as well as the King's Bond. Those are two 100% rolls. The King's Bond is a discipline strength, and the Kel's Mark is another discipline strength roll. So those are the 100% rolls this week. Not a ton in terms of armor. Going over to Lakshmi over at Future Work Hall, let's take a look at what she has in store for us over here. Again, nothing too great in terms of armor, some decent ghosts. This Bellicose shell isn't terrible, but it's also not as strong as the Dead Orbit shell, so I would maybe pass on that this week. let's go ahead and take a look at the weapons. The Whale is a little bit of a Fatebringer archetype this week. Again, it doesn't have any booster range, so I might skip on that as well this week. The Waltz is also pretty strong this week. It does have Third Eye and a Hammer Forged with Counterbalance. Nothing to boost the stability other than Counterbalance, though, so it's not amazing. Not a god tier roll this week. Again, if you like using fusion rifles, the Waiting is definitely a good pick this week. The Wounded is essentially like another version of the Keystone. Really pretty much almost the same role. Not too strong. I would say if you need to, go pick up the Angel's Advocate over at the vendor that I talked about before. Of course, the Wormwood is something you always have to talk about in this current meta. We do have hand loaded and we do have reactive reload, so pretty good roll this week. If it had rangefinder, it would be even better, but if it had rangefinder, it wouldn't have reactive reload. But you could probably do some damage if you've got reactive reload and this together. You might be able to do some damage with that sidearm. Nothing really else this week in terms of future war calls. Okay, over at New Monarchy, we're taking a look at the weapons over here. Nothing too great. The Free Will hand cannon does have rangefinder, but if you look, its basic range stat is pretty low to begin with. So I would say, again, probably skip on the Free Will. It's not a very good weapon to use in general. However, this week, I would highly recommend that if you didn't pick up one of the other sidearms this week, you pick up the Impeacher. It has an insane rate of fire in terms of a sidearm, but it also has rangefinder this week and hand-loaded with flared Magwell and Snapshot. This is probably going to be one of your top sidearms this week. No, it's no Wormwood, but it does have an insane rate of fire. You can fire it the fastest sidearm in the game, I do believe, in terms of rate of fire, and that ability to reload very quickly does make a difference. Other than that, nothing too crazy in terms of weapons from New Monarchy, and there is a decently rolled Senator Shell here. It's a disciplined strength roll of 34-34. So those are all the rolls that you need to worry about this week, and all the things that maybe you want to go pick up when you are running around getting all those legendary marks. Hopefully something in this video has helped you out, and if so, a positive rating is greatly appreciated. Hit that subscribe button for more Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 content. We're going to start making the shift over to Destiny 2 as soon as we start to see more gameplay and things like that from Destiny 2. We're really excited to see that going on, and we're going to be continuing to follow in the path of the weekly reset videos. Also, if you need any help, come to my Twitch live streams, twitch.tv/manodester777, to help you out, whether in terms of picking up vendor roles, checking out different roles that you pick up out in the world, or if you need any kind of raid help. So until then, Guardians, I will see you in the universe of Destiny.